Good morning, dear students. Today we shall try to explain the stanza number 27 to 29 of the Elegy written in a country churchyard, written by the famous poet Thomas Gray. Yesterday we knew that the poet in the stanzas 24 to 26 was talking about himself. 23 stanzas in this poem have been written for the poor villagers, poor farmers, or the poor men, villagers who are living in that village and who have been buried in the churchyard. The other, that is the stanzas from 24 to 32, have been written for the poet himself or for the speaker himself. So, yesterday, the speaker was saying about himself that some passerby will come there by chance and he will try to know about the poet. He will be also the poet or a muse. Then he will try to get the information about the poet from the shepherd, from the layman, or from the poor villager who is there and who will describe in this way about the poet. That is, the poet used to get up early in the morning and would go up to the hill in order to see the sunrise, in order to please himself with the sun rising. Then at the noontime he would be stretching himself beneath the shade of the big trees there and would enjoy herself by the babbling of the water of the brook that was flowing there. So in this way the layman or the shepherd will tell the another poet who will inquire about Thomas Gray or about this speaker. Now we are continue with those lines. Here in stanza 27, the same shepherd is speaking about the poet something more, that what else he used to do. So he describes that hard by yon wood, now smiling as in scorn, muttering his wayward fancies he would rove, now dropping woeful when like one forlorn, or crashed with care or crossed in hopeless love. So this stanza continues with what the speaker imagines an old villager would say about him after he was dead and gone. So here the speaker, we say that the poet himself is the speaker. So he imagines that the old villager or the poor villager will explain, will say about the poet after he has gone and dead, after he was dead and gone. So what he would say. So here the speaker imagines that the old poor villager would be saying that the speaker used to rove or wander in the nearby woods. So hard by yon wood. So he was very hard, just like the wood, and he used to wander through the woods. He used to rove and wander in the nearby woods, which are very dense wood, very hard, long woods, forests, jungle. And now smiling as in scorn. And now the speaker is smiling scornfully, that is, muttering himself. So he imagines that the villager would say that now the poet is smiling scornfully, muttering to himself, and sometimes look all droppy and mopy, that is pale, wan with sorrow. That is, the poet would always muttering his wayward fancies. That is his in his own imagination. He would be muttering all the time. He would rove, wander in those woods. And sometimes he would smile in scorn or scornfully. But now dropping his sad, woeful, like one forlorn, like a person who is alone. So he would always be alone, sorrowfully, sad sometimes smiling but scornfully. Or sometimes the old villager says that they saw him sometimes crazed with care, that he was very crazing for the care. That is, he was very concerning, he was very anxious, chintit, sad, or sometimes or crossed in hopeless love. Sometimes they saw him and felt that he was hopeless, disappointed in love. That is, he was disappointed because it seemed that as if he failed in love affairs. That is, he loved someone who did not return him back, who did not love him back. So sometimes they saw him in hopeless situation or conditions. Sometimes thinking, sometimes meditating, sometimes wandering, walking, sometimes smiling also. So this is what the poor guy or the old guy, old villager tells about the speaker to the another poet or the person who is inquiring about the poet. Okay, now come to the stanza 28. One morn I missed him on the customed hill, along the heath and near his favourite tree. Another came, nor yet beside the rill, nor up the lawn, nor at the wood was he. So now, this old poor farmer or the villager is continued telling about the speaker to the person who is or to the poet who is asking about this poet or this speaker. So here the poet imagines himself that this will be said by the old poor farmer. And what he will say? So he imagines that the old villager might say about him after he is dead and gone. And what he imagines that the villager saying that he missed seeing the speaker one morning in the usual place on local hillside along the fields heath, that is by the speaker's favorite tree. That is, the old poor guys tells the person who is inquiring about the poet all these things that we have read in these four stanzas. And now he tells that he tells about the poet that one morning he missed him on the customed hill. That is, he did not see the poet or the speaker on the customed hill, means the habitual hill where he used to go always. So, usual place, we can say the usual place. So, one morning he missed, that is, he did not see the poet or the speaker there on that hill. Along the heath, the poet was also not seen on the fields near his favorite tree, nor he was seen near the favorite tree where he used to stretch his body in the daytime. Another came, that is, another day came, nor yet beside the rill. But they also did not see him near by the river, where he used to enjoy the sprinkling or babbling of the water sound of the river, nor of the lawn, nor he was seen on the of the lawn, nor at the wood was he, nor they saw him at the wood, at the forest where he would rove. It means they never, now they did not see the poet at any usual place where he used to roam and wander, where he used to enjoy and would come. So, in this way, here the old poor villager is talking about the poet, and now he feels that the poet was not there. That is, one day, the other day, they did not see the poet at his usual places. ओके, सो ये जो ट्री है, बीच ट्री, जो पहले अपन ने स्टेंजर 26 में जिक्र किया है, उसी के बारे में है. दैट इज हिज फेवरेट ट्री. सो हिज फेवरेट ट्री वॉज दैट बीच ट्री वेयर ही यूज टू स्ट्रेच हिमसेल्फ. So the villager goes on to say that another day passed, and yet he still did not see the speaker by the brook, by the rill, on the grass, or by the woods. So sound like something. So in this way he describes about the speaker or the poet. Now come with the stanza 29. Then next with dirges due in sad array, slow through the church way path we saw him borne. Approach and read, for thou canst read the lay graved on the stone beneath yon aged thorn. So the old villager is continue again telling about the speaker. That is, that one morning they missed him, they did not see him. On the next morning they also did not see him at his usual places, neither in the field, nor up the hill, nor in the wood, nowhere. They did not see him. So now this villager tells that the next with dirges due in sad array. That is, on the third day. 2 days, he has already talked about the 2 days, but third day, after the speaker did not show up, was not seen, the old villager says that dirges were played. Dirges means, sorry for interruption, dirges means funeral song. So the villagers tells that on the third day they heard the funeral song due in sad array. In a sadful array means procession. As sadful, griefful procession was there, and a funeral song was sung there, was played there. And there they saw that the speaker was carried slowly along the path to the church in a funeral procession. So, sad array, that is a funeral procession. Dirges, funeral song. So, slow through the church way, that is, he was taken slowly. The funeral procession was going slowly along the path, that is, towards the path of the church, where he was to be buried. We saw him born, that is, we saw him taking towards the church. It means that the speaker or the poet was dead. Okay? And a funeral procession was being carried on there. So then it means he died. Approach and read. So now the old villager invites the inquiry person, the another poet who is inquiring about the speaker. So this old villager tells him that please come, approach, yeah, go there. There is the grave of the poet or the speaker. There is the tomb. Tomb stone has been also erected upon it. So please approach, please come and go there and read what is written there. Because poor villager tells that he is not educated, he is not literate, so he can't read. So you can read because you know you are literate. So you can read graved on the stone beneath yon is. So go and approach and read what has been inscripted or written on the grave stone. And beneath this gravestone, beneath yon is thorn. That is the tombstone underneath the old thorn bush, which is there. So please go and read what is written on the gravestone. What is there? The inscription about the poet written there. So, in this way, this villager replies to the person or the poet who is asking about the speaker or the poet of this elegy. So, if he wants to know about this poet, because this poet has been a very faithful, very sympathetic, and very kind for these poor guys. Therefore, he may want to know about the speaker, about the poet. So this poor villager tells him about the poet, and the end is that the poet was dead. The poet was buried in the same churchyard, and a simple gravestone has been erected upon his grave, just like the poor villagers. The poet, thinks himself one of those poor villagers. So, what is written on that gravestone? We will discuss in our next and the last lecture of this poem. Again, we will have three stanzas of the inscriptions, which we call an epitaph. Epitaph means the lines which are written for the person who has passed away from this world, who is no more there. So, the date of birth, date of death, about his works, about his popularity, about his life, such things, about his admiration, praise, the things are written on the gravestone. What is written on the gravestone of this poet, we will discuss in our next lecture. So, for now, thank you very much, dear friends. See you. I also hope that you will enjoy this poem, and you have enjoyed this poem and also will enjoy when you go through yourself, and then would be able to answer the questions properly in your examinations as well. So, again, thank you very much.